All right, so it's time for court today, and Mutala is here. Mutala.
Oh, yeah. Good to have you. Good morning.
You see, for the love of the job, I completely lost my voice.
Exactly. Yeah.
But Joshua didn't check on me this whole week to know whether I'm well or not. You know,
so you had to trick me to the wall.
Yeah, he hasn't checked.
No, he has questions to answer.
Usually he'll check on me and ask me how I'm doing.
He didn't do it.
But he didn't. So I didn't know where he himself was hiding.
For the first time, he's lending support to the Black Stars. So
what do you mean for the first time? He's a very patriotic Ghanaian.
He's not a football fan. So
Yes, but I'm a Ghanaian.
But he's Ghanaian and he's very patriotic.
Yeah. Last week I stayed up. 11 p.m. I stayed up watching them.
So why you gave me predictions the last time?
Yeah. I watched, yes, and I watched the Tuesday game as well.
And I'm sure
all of us I watched the Saturday game as well.
Saturday you watched.
Is it 9 or 10?
It's 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Yeah. We watched till midnight. And
most of the matches will be played at the same time because the last group game. So that's how. So that nobody will be watching the other one and then the other one will play at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think it's been a good tournament. And so I met you a couple of times at the court. And then I remember my conversation, people asking a lot of questions. There's one particular one that in the course of the presentation, I'll pick your thought or I'll ask you about it in court and all of that. But today we are going to the ECOWAS court. And guess what? Why do you think you are going to the ECOWAS court?
Gertrude, Araba,
so,
Isaba.
Director, pause here.
He can ask some questions so like we're in class. Okay, why do you think we are going to the ECOWAS court?
Okay, Director, let's go back to the previous video or the pictures, then I'll show you something. Then that will be the basis for the discussion this morning. Let's go back more, and then great. So let's pause here. Can we go back a bit? So I want to. Okay, this is fine. So this is the former Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Esaba Saki Tokonu, and this is the very first time she appeared at the apex court of the land, the Supreme Court of Ghana. And the reason she appeared before the Supreme Court was that at this time, the President of the Republic of Ghana, in consultation with the Council of States, have established a prima facie based on petitions received, 3 of them. And then when that was established, she was given copies and asked to comment, which she did. And following from that, the President, based on Article 146, and its related provisions, activated that and established a committee of 5. And that committee includes 2 justices of the Supreme Court, Justice Gabriel Puaman and Justice Samuel Esiedu. Justice Puaman eventually chaired the committee and 3 others. Now, on the 15th of May 2025 was the first time that the committee sat on the matter. And when the committee sat, Justice Tokonu was absent, but her lawyers, led by Kwabena Dukusi, were present. There were a lot of issues that came out from that. Following from that, she personally filed an action against the processes at the Supreme Court, and on top of that, asked for an interlocutory injunction, make some allegations and all of that, asking the apex court to stop the proceedings because she's challenging the constitutional provisions under which she was suspended and under which the committee was formed. The Supreme Court dismissed that. And that is the first time, and that is why you can see this video. So, Director, you can run. So that's the first time the Lady Chief Justice at the time appeared with her husband. This video that you see, this is the Human Rights Court. Apart from the processes that he took to the Supreme Court, she also initiated origination motions at the Human Rights Court. And you see Dr. Justice Mensah and the lawyer of the former Chief Justice, Kwabena Dukusi, interacting with that. And that is why Serwaa will tell you that as lawyers, you can be at the opposing ends, but it doesn't mean on your feet in court, you clash all the time. But when you come out from the court, you are the best friends that you can see. I know a client in court, and then he saw the other party and said, lawyer, don't talk to the other party because I am in a problem with that person. That's why we are in court. But lawyers are always friends outside the court.
Not always.
Not always.
No.
Most often.
There are some lawyers who are actually...
They are petty, yeah?
Yeah, there's like...
So they carry the case from court to
outside.
Yes, and sometimes they they themselves have there may be like an underlying problem that the clients didn't even know about. Yeah. But we know because we are all friends at the bar, you're just supposed to be cordial with people. But I mean, it's entirely Yeah. Anyway,
so this video that you see, if I tell you the clashes in relation to the argument when they were making argument in court, and after you will see all of them smiling, you'll be amazed. But at the end, in respect of the human rights action, the High Court dismissed that. And fast forward, the lady Chief Justice in July went to the ECOWAS Court. And the ECOWAS Court...
In July?
Yes, in July 2025.
Yes, please add the date.
Absolutely. Specifically July 4.
Yeah.
And it makes some allegations of human rights violations. And so it's been forth and back, an adjournment. We want initially... At the point in time, it said Ghana did not file a defense, so she filed for a default judgment seeking some $10 million. Then the Attorney General filed a statement of defense and then responded to her action. Later on, she was removed from the office. Remember that I said she filed it on July. September, she was removed from office. Then she went back to the ECOWAS Court to say that the situation has changed and therefore, she should be given an opportunity to amend her case before the ECOWAS Court. The ECOWAS Court granted her that leave. She's done that to include her removal from office. The parties were given the opportunity. The Attorney General was given the opportunity. In fact, the AG was represented by the able deputy, Dr. Justice Mensah. Now, the parties having filed their processes and the court having adopted same as their argument before the court yesterday, June 24 was the D-Day, was the day that the ECOWAS panel of 3 sat. And guess what? When the court sat, they took the issues one by one. And there were 7 issues in all that the Apex Court took time to examine and to evaluate. The first one that the Lady Chief Justice, in fact, at the ECOWAS Court, the former Chief Justice was represented by Femi Falana as a senior advocate in Nigeria. And so you see that she was heavily represented. Yesterday, the first thing that she was removed from office as Chief Justice at the point that she claimed that her suspension was arbitrary. The court said there's nothing arbitrary about the processes that Ghana activated. First, she said she was not given basis for the prima facie. The court said Ghana followed all the processes in serving her with the processes. The second one was about the fact that the committee that was put in place was not competent. They were biased towards him because 2 of the panel members had prior knowledge of the petitions. Now that one was also said to be the fact that it was not proven. She had issued with the oath that the 3 who are not lawyers had for the committee, that the court said that matter should be dealt with in a Ghanaian court and not before the ECOWAS Court. So the ECOWAS Court cannot deal with the matter. Again, she was asking that her removal from office was unlawful. The ECOWAS Court believed that all that Ghana did at a point in time was right, and therefore her removal was lawful. She participated actively and all. So at the end, what the ECOWAS Court was saying was that all the allegations that were made by the former Chief Justice Gertrude Saki-Tokonu, alleging that her rights were violated, alleging that the processes were arbitrary, the court said it cannot find favor with that and consequently dismissed all the claims, 7 of them that she's put, including, and having made that decision, the court said, then there's no basis for the 10 million that she's demanding for, and that one was also rejected. So the former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu's action at the ECOWAS Court has now been turned down. But there's one more to go, and that is before the Supreme Court of Ghana. And in the course of the day, I'll bring you updates in relation to that one. Date has been fixed for judgment, and that is the 29th of July. But there has been some updates that I'll share with you in the course of the day. So that is with respect to the ECOWAS Court and the former Chief Justice, and of course, the Republic of Ghana and this whole removal processes.
What you have not mentioned is that former Chief Justice Sufaya Kufu testified for the former Chief Justice?
She appeared and testified as a witness.
At the Akwas Court?
Yes. Oh. For her. And then subsequently she resigned from the Council of State.
So she, because of her rule, there were some travel issues about this whole allegation, how certain staff, absolutely, as certain staffs were dealt with, transferred, and in a manner, quote unquote, that all of them came to the fore. And Sophia Akufu, the former CJ, and Serwaa mentioned, all form part of why she had to resign subsequently from the Council of State and all of that. So that is it. The road for the former Chief Justice at the ECOWAS Court has come to an end. And now the only case that I know about is before the Apex Court of Ghana. And very soon we'll see judgment in that one.
Interesting. So, well, so today is a Thursday. What are we to expect from the courts?
Yes, today, one of the cases that we should be expecting is in relation to the SkyTrain matter. SkyTrain. So you know that. Yes. Attorney General has closed its case, called 3 witnesses, and then the courts or the accused persons have indicated or they have filed submission of no case. The Attorney General has also been given the opportunity to respond to that. This morning, they will be appearing before Justice Audrey Kokuvite for a date for the ruling on submission of no case. So Professor Christopher Amihere, Mr. Solomon Asamoah, who are facing charges in relation to the $2 million SkyTrain projects, are back in court, and they will know when the court will make a ruling on the submission of no case to answer.
One more.
The trial of the maids are still ongoing. 2 of the maids, and then the remaining 5 accused persons are 7. And so prosecution is calling witnesses. Currently, the investigator is in the witness box testifying, telling the court how large sums of monies were discovered, how they were shared, how they were used to procure or to purchase properties, houses, some in Tamale, some in Budumburam, how cars that they bought, and other related matters. So he's testifying that he's in fact done giving the evidence in chief, and the accused persons are now subjecting him to cross-examination. So today, the lawyers of the first accused person, Patience Boucher, will have their thing, and after, the other accused persons will also follow. In this case, it's before Justice Marie Louise Simmons, the criminal court 2. So that's one of the things that we should expect in this particular matter.
Okay. And finally, Sexy Don Don.
Yeah. That's the man on your screen. He said his real guy name is Gucci Youngster, not Sexy Don Don. The Sexy Don Don was Dampari, Dr. Dampari, who gave him.
So, why is he sexy?
Usually.
Why would the former IGP give him anything?
That is his allegation.
Well,
that's his allegation. The former IGP has not been in court to
substantiate that.
He has no idea what is going on. He's probably lost and will be wondering.
So, the jury returned a hung jury.
Right.
Their decision was not conclusive. So there's a retrial that has been ordered. His lawyers are also at the Court of Appeal challenging that for being a mistrial. And today he's before the High Court for the retrial processes. And of course, a new jury panel will have to be clarified, form and all of that. So while you were at the complex, you have been in court, and I saw that the crowd were packed. And when that atmosphere was charged, we were wondering who was there. Then we saw SM.
Right.
Shatawale. And we saw a picture with you and Shatawale.
Yes. This was, I think, on Tuesday.
It was...
Monday. It was on Monday, actually. Yes, so Monday, I had come to finish with my business in court.
As always.
And when I came outside, there were so many people.
Exactly.
So I was wondering what's going on here. And then I was told that Shatawale was here.
Right.
I have a very good relationship with Shatawale, which is public knowledge. So I went to him. And I'm seeing a lot of people say that I'm a lawyer for the young man who was arrested for...
No, Serwaa is not in that case. I know the lawyers, Noble.
As a matter of principle, there's absolutely no money that will let me defend such a person. I mean, I respect everyone's right to a lawyer, but for somebody who consistently says very unprintable words about another person, and I told Shatawale himself when I saw him, and he told me he was here for the WebKit guy. I told him, but you need to speak to that young man, because you can't consistently write things. He's even insulted me before, so how can I be defending someone who has insulted me and written things which are untrue about me? So I've seen that. I've read, you know, people say I'm supposed to be standing for women empowerment, and you know, for somebody who has consistently talked about being defamed. How am I? And I just want to put that on record that there is no amount of. There are some people that I totally abhor. There are some who don't even deserve me mentioning their names, but we all know who these people are. At least a very notorious one of them. And those people are very non-existent to me. No matter how much money you offer me, I will not defend such a person. So I just want to put it out there. And I'm totally disappointed in that young man. If you have seen the things that he's written about people, from Louisa, Stoneboy, the president, the former president, the Asante King, the Gamanche, Nanaba, you know,
it's taking
the former Chief Justice. And these are not just, you know, what they call the trolling. Like he peddles untruths.
So that's
to the highest level.
That's the concern that we have, freedom of speech. You can write in a publication of news and all of that. But when it goes beyond the threshold, and you are picked up, and then you have people masked up trying to. So I've had people say that, oh, he's been in lawful custody for 41 days and all of that, and the judge. So I asked a question. One, what are the guidelines for bail? Everyone is entitled to bail, subject to the discretion of the judge. So if the judge is saying that, okay, I'm giving you bail, a judge has granted bail to somebody and the person has absconded. A judge and said, oh, he's nobody, this is just a normal person. How do you describe a normal person? How do you describe that, oh, this person is not a flight risk and all of that? And the court decided that I'm not granting bail. At some point in time, the court considered bail, and then the court becomes a subject matter, quote unquote, public radio, public criticism. You can criticize and all of that. But the point is that each case is unique on its own.
Right.
Yeah, each case is unique on it. And I saw that comment as well. I think that,
and you know what's more worrying for me, Joshua, is the fact that beyond, I don't subscribe to, you know, I don't entirely agree to people being arrested for things that they have said.
They have published.
You know, both verbally and things that they have written. But when it crosses the line where you're peddling untruths, you know, and it's even more dangerous because now there are people who hide behind fake accounts, write things and think that you cannot find them.
Of course.
You do not know where they are. They are just hiding behind some account and, you know, with no name, so say all sorts of things. When the law finds you, then you come and stand there and make noise and say you are. The guy has been granted bail. I don't know if he's been able to meet his bail
I'll check that. He's been granted bail, but I don't know.
Of 100,000 cities. I hope he doesn't meet it.
So
I really hope he doesn't meet it, and I hope that when he comes out, and I hope he's jailed.
We need to be responsible.
No, we have to.
And that's where, for me, it starts.
Quote unquote, sometimes we are being too reckless.
We just take advantage of everything and then just say anything in the name of social media. And I think it's sometimes we need to see some examples made of certain people so that it cautions others to refrain.
I've heard somebody say that, if you publish the normal thing, it's all for traction and for the vibe.
But the question is, have you thought about how it impacts whoever you're writing about?
They don't care.
Have you thought about the fact that the person has a family?
They don't care.
If you're saying untruths about the person, to what end? If you get if it becomes clickbait, people click on, they like what you're saying and they follow you because of that. It's, you are blunt, and so. At the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. That you see, we need to make examples of people for others to know.
People that we celebrate in this country.
It's a shame. It's a shame. But hey,
okay, so that will be for God today. Yeah, lady and gentleman. In fact, lawyer, and then.
Chalaba, did you have to?
Yeah, I have to.
Oh, you are making me. You are making me.
No,
very
no, not at
inferior.
all. Joshua is a very is a high journalist. is a journalist of good and high.
But we
repute.
still celebrate you.
Oh, but we've done that.
You and who? Share. We will do it.
Show me your locals.
Thank you.
Yeah, she has locals to show.
I tell you.
Thank you very much, Mutala. We'll see you.
Mutala, thank you so much. I like the way she said, "We'll see you." And we'll be right back.
You're welcome back to the show. This is GH Today. I am Serwaa Amihere. And for the breakfast review this morning, I'm joined by the Honourable Member of Parliament for the Ifia constituency, Isaac Buamanyako Esquire. Good morning.
Good morning, Serwaa.
And Theophilus Jimega Jr. Esquire. He's a mining engineer and also a member of the NDC's communications team. Good morning to you, Senior, too. How are we?
We are doing good. Just a quick correction. I'm more than a mining engineer. I'm a civil engineer too.
Okay.
And a water resources engineer.
Okay.
So I wear 3
But today you are here in your capacity as a communicator for your party.
Yes, exactly. I'm here as a communicator for my party.
Okay,
yes.
so forgive me for that.
No,
but I'll focus more on your the capacity exactly for which
what
you're here.
Brought you here.
Exactly. So please forgive me. Okay, so I'm happy that you are both lawyers because I want us to start with the former Chief Justice's appearance at the ECOWAS court and the decision of the court. The court has said, following her petition somewhere in July 2025, that the Republic of Ghana did not breach any of her alleged rights with which she took to the ECOWAS court. So this judgment was delivered yesterday, June 24, and the court found that Ghana did not violate any of the former CJ's rights under the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, and therefore her claim for $10 million in damages were rejected outright. I'm going to start with the NDC on this. Would you say that this decision by the court is a vindication for the party, especially because the NPP has consistently said that her dismissal, her removal, suspension, whatnot, was politically motivated?
Yes, so good morning to your viewers, wherever they are, and particularly my backroom staff, those who help me. Good morning to you all. I don't think we will put it to NDC, NPP. Let me start by saying that 1 Corinthians 6:12 says that all things are lawful unto man, but not all things are permissible. And from day one, I have been of the view that Justice Araba Isaba Saki Tokono, Emeritus, should have just negotiated some exit strategy and exit package and move on.
Why?
With her life. That is how I paraphrased it. And maybe to quote again from Chino Achebe, who says that it's always good to be brave, but sometimes it's better to be a coward. Where we have reached now, she's gone. She's gone without any benefits. History will remember her as someone who has fought, but has achieved nothing. And what therein lies in when you have a hollow fight. You fought and nothing comes out. You see, of importance to me is the absurd thinking that for the fact that she was a Chief Justice, that is distinct from being a Justice of the Superior Court of Ghana. It is not. I've always maintained this, that it would be absurd to think that one is different from the other. Assuming that she was removed as Chief Justice, but maintained as a Justice of the Supreme Court, and she becomes the most senior Justice of the Supreme Court, and the Chief Justice who is there travels out of the jurisdiction for which he has to act, then somebody who has been removed as a Chief Justice now begins to act as an acting Chief Justice. That would be absurd. And she took something like that to the ECOWAS court. So you will know, maybe in the years, that you see that sometimes in life, even as a lawyer, you try so hard to polish, but you will not shine. You try so hard to polish. I believe that the lawyers she had were very good lawyers. They have tried so hard to polish, but they are not shining. And at a stage, I said it on your studio here, on your program, to say that if she were my wife, I would have said, sweetheart, you've done enough. Let us find alternate strategy and move on. Her removal the court's decision is not a confirmation to NDC's action. The question I keep asking is that, assuming she was still the Chief Justice and someone takes this case to ECOWAS court, what would she be advising the person? Would she have been expecting the person to come out victorious? In all these things, the court said something that is very, very important, that a lot of the things she was asking for are things that can be handled by the internal courts. Now that she's gone out there, where will she go next? The Hague or UN or Arusha, Tanzania for the AU court? And the more you go, the respect you have, the goodwill you have, the image you have will gradually be getting eroded. So I think that at this time she should just tell herself, I have done enough. And this is where I've reached. The Ugandans say a short man cannot grow tall. I've done enough. So let her move on with her life. Perhaps if she had negotiated somewhere, she would have been on some UN or foreign board or institution, lecturing somewhere, being a consultant. These things were clear to her. I believe so. Look, she presided.
Why were they clear to her? Does that then mean because there were threats? The NPP alleges that, the NDC had always said that if they came to power, they were going to remove her. In fact, there are some other names that were mentioned that will be removed. So when you say that it was clear to her, are you saying that, she should have known that once the NDC took over, she was going to be removed? So she should have just, like you said, come to some, agreements of a sort or bargain something?
No, I don't mean that anybody said they were going to. I can't recall anybody saying that they were going to remove her. The thing I said it was clear to her was that she presided over the removal of Justice Utaderi logo, etc. And these things were following the same pattern.
Does that mean that it was clear to her that?
Yes, so she should have known that where I sat previously and I presided over this, and these things are following the same format, they will be applied to me. That was clear. It's a precedent. That was clear to her. It has nothing. Again, let's divorce this from NDC. The only unfortunate thing is that the president was the one who had to take certain decisions at this stage, and the president was the one who took those decisions. Beyond that, it has nothing. NDC has no interest in Tokonu's removal or Tokonu remaining there. No, it's just the procedural dictates that were followed. That's what I mean. That these things were so clear to her, that she should have taken steps, she should have taken lessons from when she presided over the removal of certain justices. Now, some people are asking that maybe they should temper justice with mercy and consider her, give me the words, her benefits, etc. What of the likes of Utaderi and the rest who are still, they are now practicing as private legal practitioners. Perhaps maybe she will join. But I think that the time has come for her to move on. I don't know the legal advice she gets, but I think that the public, you watched a lot of the social media yesterday following the announcement. Very few. And again, why should a particular political party believe that we need to take a stance to protect or to defend her? Why? She has the legal team to fight her fight. So let's not make it NDC, NPP. This would have happened in anybody's time. There were other petitions that followed after her. They were passed on the same way. Yet there was no determination. Then again, the other thing that worried me was that when she said that she was not given a copy of the reasoning in the prima facie that was made. Where did we have all this? Where this is the Chief Justice, or this was the Chief Justice, somebody who is supposed to have in her bosom all the knowledge of the law we have in this country. And it was going this way. So for me, I think that time has come. Madam Serwaa Tokonu, you have fought enough. Move on.
Honorable MP, do you agree with him? You have said that her whole removal was politically motivated, but you have seen the judgment, you heard at least of the judgment of the ECOWAS courts. This is an independent regional judicial body that has said that none of her human rights were violated. I can understand that maybe the decision for you might be uncomfortable, but do you now believe that there was no human rights violation?
So, good morning once again, and to our cherished viewers, my colleague, and then also the good people of Ifeanyi constituency. We've just coming back from a very, very heavy rainfall, over the past few weeks. And you could remember the submerging of a whole community, Serwaa Boy, and government is being called upon to intervene and see how best we can do a lot of evacuation and also support the people. I understand the Western Regional Minister had visited them right after the incident, and engagements are with NADMO to see how best NADMO can also come in. It comes with a clarion call for government to continue to equip and support NADMO in its activities. Because if you look at the recent rains, it's very unusual over the past. If you check the last years, I don't think we've had that heavy downpour in most recent years than we've seen this year. And so a lot of engagement has to go in. Maybe at a later time we can have a conversation on that. To Dr. Bawumia, our flag bearer, good morning. He's still looking at how best he will come up with his policies to transform this country and make it better than we see today. But on the topic of the ECOWAS court rejection of the petitions submitted by Gertrude Tokonu, generally it's still a sad day for me personally as to why as a country we've gotten to where we have gotten to. I'm still of the respectful view that the removal of the Chief Justice, then Gertrude Tokonu, was politically motivated. I'm very convinced that the basis of her removal was very flimsy and not of substantial value to cause the removal of a Chief Justice. I'm of the honest view that the law, yes, was applied by the president according to the constitutional tenets, but if careful review has been done internally, the president wouldn't have come to that same conclusion except to satisfy a political call to seek to the removal of the Chief Justice. So I'm saying this because if you check the ruling, which unfortunately I've not had the benefit of reading the entire ruling, so I'm only picking my thoughts based on what has been shared in the public space. And if I read through some of the general determinations that the court made, for example, the court is saying that the prima facie determination by the president was in accordance with law, which of course we all agree that per the Constitution, if a petition is filed against the Chief Justice, the president is supposed to engage the Council of State, and then when a prima facie is established, a committee will be formed to look into the matter. The call by Gertrude Tokonu over the period has been how this prima facie determination was made, and we've had the benefit of a former Chief Justice who sat at the Council of State and had abstained from this particular decision to remove or to determine the prima facie, because she was also of the candid view that the issues that have been brought before the Council of State as a former Chief Justice were matters that does not warrant the removal of the Chief Justice. It is the same former Chief Justice hearing her ladyship Sofa Akufu that went to the extent of even testifying on behalf of Gertrude Tokonu. And this is very unusual that a former Chief Justice would take that strong position to go and testify on behalf of another Chief Justice against what they perceive as an executive overreach to determine by other means the removal of a Chief Justice of this Republic. I have said that what has happened by President Mahama is only setting a bad precedent for the future, because we all know that the law, we have the spirit and then we have the letter. And so if you go by the letter of the law, you would come to the same conclusion by ECOWAS court, that before you can overturn certain constitutional provisions, you need to establish a lot of facts that goes contrary to the constitutional provisions. And we can walk through the process and say that the president used the law to reach that conclusion. Even if you look at the determination by the committee, several petitions or allegations were made against the former Chief Justice. The moment the committee established determined one of the incidents or one of the petitions, it rushed to submit a report to the president. It didn't take it time to even conclude or complete the entire process. So it tells you that there was, or I believe that there was an intentional calculation by several persons behind the scene to find this particular position, to bring something to the president to make that determination. And that for me is very, very unfortunate. Now, she exercised her constitutional right to appeal to the ECOWAS court. She had already tried using the domestic court. And from the decisions that she was receiving, she felt those decisions were also a bit problematic because of the posturing of the Supreme Court, because some of the Supreme Court justice, one of them, Gabriel Puama, sat by constitutional provision on the committee, a beneficiary to that office, which is currently the Chief Justice, would also be sitting on it. And so there were a lot of conflicting interest in this matter that would not guarantee her that kind of transparency, independence of the court in Ghana. And so she exercised the right to go to ECOWAS court. The ECOWAS court, of course, seized with the facts before them, have come to that conclusion that her allegations or her petition doesn't lacks merit or would not grant her the claims that she so desires. My colleague has indicated that she could have found a better way of negotiating her way out. And the question is that what we want as a country, that if they set an eye on you, if a political regime, before they come into power, make certain clear indications that we are going to go after you, not only get to talk on, you saw the way they made strong interest in the EC, Electoral Commission. Now, if you go to the Electoral Commission, as some are retiring, others are also resigning from their positions. And you cannot tell, I'm not seized with the fact as to why the other deputy commissioner has resigned. But it all gives you that kind of feeling that people don't feel now comfortable when there's a change of government and they have even an independent body like the EC, like the courts, for people to feel like we have the independence, we have to be protected, because there's so much executive interest in some of these matters, and that does not inure well for the future. My advice to His Excellency the President of the Republic is that this is a blot for me. This is a blot in his demeanor, in his reign as the president, that the first president in the Fourth Republic to go after the third arm of government, which is the judiciary, and successfully remove her for reasons that does not accord to the highest level of standard that you expect a Chief Justice to be removed. I say, if today you want to remove even the president, people can make a lot of allegations. So in this country, that the president even took a car, and people made noise about it. President Mahama took a gift of a Ford from someone in Burkina Faso. It became a huge national issue. If these matters have been raised as substantial enough to merit the removal of the president, what would we be saying today? So I believe that the standards are very high. It's supposed to be high. Yes, the Constitution gives a clear indication as what constitutes misconduct. It says misconduct. But what should constitute misconduct? Yes, you can find certain. That's why even when you are sanctioning, if you look at the President Code of Ethics and Conduct, you have reprimand, you have warning, you have days of suspension before dismissal from your position. And so the allegations that were before the president, even if they were of substance, even if there were even some basis in them, is it something that warrants the removal of the third biggest arm of this country, the place that secures our constitutional independence, our freedoms and our liberties? Is that enough ground for a removal? I say a big no, and the president should not be happy with it.
I'm sure that you've been following this case. At the ECOWAS courts, the former Chief Justice's lawyers included
Yes.
Femi Falana,
Yes.
who is one of West Africa's most eminent human rights advocates, right? Her case was fully argued.
Yes.
You know, and the court still did not find merit in those.
Yes.
You're still going on about the president of Ghana or government not following due process?
You know, that's why I indicated that going by the letter, everybody knows that the president acted in accordance with law. That fact cannot...
So what's the NPP's problem then?
No, so the problem is that the basis, the gravitas of the removal is what we're saying, that it is of poor value. It is of no substantial value to remove the third biggest position holder of the Republic of Ghana. If you go to Parliament today, the second office, which is Parliament, if you want to find some breaches in, let's say, benefits to the Speaker and I say that even the President, if you audit, year in, year out, you audit the presidency, there may be weaknesses in the office of the president, travel weaknesses, decisions that may not amount to what best judgment. But then Auditor General even finds people culpable in terms of their decisions, and then they are sanctioned. So the issues that Gertrude Tokonu was alleged to have done, traveling, taking allowance, and all of these things, are they of substantial value to remove the office of the Chief Justice? So this is the argument we're making, and we shouldn't water it down, because it is posterity. We are talking about posterity. Tomorrow you set a precedent that any other person that has issues with a Chief Justice decision to either embark on a trip or to transfer somebody will be tantamount to basis to remove the Chief Justice. I'm saying that it is poor. It is bad. The president could have exercised a lot more decorum in reaching that conclusion. It's a choice.
What does the law say on the grounds for removal? No. Tell me, what does the law say?
The law talks about misconduct in office.
So what exactly is misconduct?
Misconduct is broad.
So you don't find this as misconduct?
No, that's why I said that you can find a reason to say this is misconduct has not been defined. Okay, so the basis for rating that misconduct.
Do you want us to define misconduct by your standard?
No. There's even a call by legal jurists
to define misconduct.
That misconduct should be defined so that it will take away some of these ambiguities and standards. Okay, so we set the standard high, but I'm saying that until we get there, you and I are reasonable human beings. We are reasonable persons. The law allows reasonability in these matters, and I'm asking you, Serwaa, I'm asking you that the reasons that were given, the petitions that went, the ones that were determined for the removal of the Chief Justice, Serwaa, as a lawyer, are you satisfied that it is enough to remove you? Even in GH1, if people make these allegations against you and they ask that you be sacked in your office as a staff of GH1, will you think that basis is reasonable enough? This is not politics. It's reasonability.
Because she thought that it was not reasonable enough, that's why she's gone all lengths, right? And the court has ruled.
The court did not rule on the reasonability.
Right, but
it is
on
about
the human rights violation.
Exactly.
And the court says that there was no violation.
That one,
would you just accept that, or you still intend for her to fight? He says that she should give up.
So who am I to... I can only express a view.
But the NPP is very convinced.
So are you not convinced yourself that not the process, but the basis? It's not the process.
I respect
the process
the law,
you can trigger.
And so I will go with what the law says.
Even when, but the law is the law is the law. When you have the benefit of reading judgment, don't you at times find some of the reasons of the judgment problematic enough for you to critique? Don't you? So the fact that due process has been followed and then a report has been submitted to the president, the basis of the removal is what I am saying. And I believe that the standard was lowered. And it is poor for posterity, because in future, that same bar will be measured against others. And then when that bar is measured, my colleague here, I know that he will come to some conclusion different from where he sits now. But if we say that due process was followed, of course, I'm not here to challenge the process by the president in determining a prima facie, in establishing a committee, the committee whether in their deliberations they were fair or otherwise. The court said that at least they gave you the benefit to be heard. But you know, in this country, you can even go to court, and the position of the judge will even be so intimidating or unfriendly that you leave the court dissatisfied with the position of the judge. We all go to court. We all see at times some of the post-train. So if she raises issues about the way and manner she was treated in terms of the venue of the meetings and the conduct of them, the searches on her as if she was a criminal, these are matters that the court will not pronounce that it is against any law. But we have to measure all of this within the context of our good governance practices. Are we satisfied that this is the way to go? I would say no. If they do it to my brother or another justice, I will speak against it.
But they did it to Charlotte. Right. Do you remember?
Charlotte,
you did it to Charlotte.
Where did they hold her trial?
Yeah, but we are not talking about one where the trial was held. We're talking about her removal process.
Yes.
There was a lot of questions about that as well, just as you're doing with the Chief Justice.
And I would,
so if it was good for her, then it might as well be
and
good for the Chief
Chief Justice. And if it was bad
Justice.
for her...
Did you think that it was bad for her?
You said if it was good for her, then I'm asking you if it was bad for her.
Was it bad for Charlotte?
I would say so. I would say that, you see, it's the same standard.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
But you didn't speak against it then.
No, I didn't have the opportunity.
Right.
I didn't have the opportunity.
Okay.
And I'm saying that these standards, we should be very careful.
I'm happy that you're a member of parliament now, and you have made your stance very known.
Yes.
I'm sure that we'll have many other issues to come in the future. And I will monitor to see if your comments remain the same. Yes.
I mean, for some reason, let's be doing justice to our viewers. Because we can't start by saying we are greeting our cherished viewers and we start to make them uncherished viewers. We can't do that. Council, senior here cannot approbate and reprobate. You can't do ooh here and run there and do ooh. No, it doesn't work that way. You are the very person saying that what ECOWAS court has found was okay. Then in another breath, you are saying that they didn't look at the bar that was used. So we have people who have stolen cassava are in jail. In certain jurisdictions, somebody took pen from the office and has to resign. What are we talking about here? First, you talk about the fact that the ECOWAS court largely determined human rights issues. No, one of the determination was beyond human rights issue. It was about the findings of the committee itself that the court ruled on, that is an internal thing that needs to be looked at, and the committee cannot go in there and start to work on it. Secondly, there's something we need to let everybody know. Her lawyer, Femi was rebuked sternly by the court by his conduct after the ruling was made. Look, senior, Nigeria, and so you asked me that she didn't see the sign. Nigeria had a chief justice who was suspended. What he did was he resigned. He didn't go to the ECOWAS court that was next door to it. He resigned. Because...
Yes, but Gertrude has the right too.
No, I have not taken that right from her.
Okay.
I mean, if you remember what I paraphrased my thing from, you don't have to be a Christian to believe the Bible. I said that all things are lawful unto man, but not all things are permissible or the end thereof is good. You cannot say that. What bar are we talking about? They are talking about misconduct in office. And she had the opportunity to defend all the allegations against her. And the allegations that she defended against her were proven to be against her. What do we mean by the bar? It has to be very high. Indeed, the bar has to be low, so that anybody who occupies that office knows that if I don't live to expectation, I may be removed. If we are talking about the bar being high, such that we will not be able to remove persons, then we are trying to encourage people to misbehave, hoping that the bar will be high. Okay, now Senior gives an example of the Ford. Hey, Senior, the Ford largely brought down a government too. the false saga. It largely brought down a government. And you want to trivialize it? No.
Did they cause the removal of the president?
I said he brought, not president, I'm talking of government. The government is bigger than the president. It largely brought down the government because it became him number 101 in terms of corruption. That was what was sung every day about Ford and I've forgotten the one who gave the false name to. So the idea about office, the misconduct in office, so we need to look at it seriously. We have made certain things so much that we are immune to bad things, that the bad things become normal. We have normalized bad things. I am saying that, one, hear me out today. NDC has no interest in Tokono's removal.
Hey.
Now, no, NDC really? Has no interest.
Hey.
No interest whatsoever.
Are you in this country?
Yes, sir.
Were you in this country during the election time?
Yes, I didn't go
to you never knew or heard NDC saying that when they come, including even then presidential candidate Mahama, who said that the Supreme Court has become so tainted that when he comes, he has to balance it.
He hasn't said that. He didn't. He never said that.
I'll paraphrase it.
He never said that.
He did. Please.
No, President said that he has to balance it.
When he addressed the NDC lawyers.
Of course, I was at that forum.
And you didn't hear that?
Yes, what he said is that prepare yourself, make yourself available to go to the bench. And since the president has come,
he didn't talk about balancing the courts.
No, listen. Balancing the Supreme Court, how?
Let's be honest
how
with the
is
facts.
He going to balance it? Let's get the video and play it. This thing has been rebuked on certain platforms. Indeed, on one of the news programs, somebody started it and something said, don't bring that in.
No. It was clear. The president,
there was nothing clear.
And again, I wish your people could get the tape.
Yes, let's get the tape and play.
Let's be honest.
Yes, I
remember as well.
No, I was there. You can remember. I was there. I was
even
in a
even we had VR people sitting, they didn't see the Ghana foul. So you two, you will be there, you don't hear.
No, I was there. No, you are now looking at this as VAR because I was there.
So
I was present
since
there.
Then, you never reviewed the speech
I was
of
there,
the president.
and I want to tell you that. And since President Mahama had come in, they appointed several High Court judges. Out of the High Court judges they appointed, only 3 were not previous Circuit Court judges. Only 3. And those ones were all appointed by guess
what's
who?
Your point?
So the idea about President Mahama coming to say, I'll reset the court, etc.
He didn't use the word reset.
Or balance the court. No, balance the court, etc. Never happened. Nothing. And all the three that were not Circuit Court judges were also working with the Attorney General. So the idea that, granted, without admitting that was the situation, granted that they will want to balance the Supreme Court. What calls for the Supreme Court to be balanced? Why? And since then, has the Supreme Court been balanced?
You should tell me.
No.
Now you talked of unanimous FC. Now unanimous FC has become your unanimous FC.
He who accepts must prove. So the idea that NDC has interest in her removal, no, it's neither here nor there. And she has gone through to meet, in any case, the persons she was working with, the justices, were the ones who heard her case.
Yes.
Those she got to be appointed were the ones who heard her case. And granted that the ones internally didn't help her, she took it outside. And that one too, they confirmed what was held internally. So what's next? Okay. So the idea to say that NDC had a plan to do ABC to the extent that somebody is resigning as EC, somebody is also going on retirement. But
you said you go after the EC too. You didn't know that.
God.
Where God is? Where is God?
We said
God
that the EC as is composed.
That one, Asiedu Ketia even said it clearly. That the EC
it's not fit for purpose.
So she must go.
Yes, if it's not fit for purpose.
So she must go.
But she's not gone yet.
She's not gone.
No, but does it lie in her mouth?
No, everybody. You said sadly. So when he was talking, you allowed him so much time.
Okay, go ahead.
Interestingly, he's asking me if I was not in Ghana. When you ask him, he said he didn't have the voice. He couldn't have the opportunity to comment on Charlotte or say why.
He didn't say he didn't have the voice. He didn't have the opportunity. Like the platform.
Yeah. No, she didn't use platform. You are a lawyer. Give the ordinary meaning to the West. Give the ordinary meaning to the West.
That's not what I said to find out.
Don't give the ordinary meaning to the West. If they don't make sense before you go to the next level.
Yeah, but
she said she didn't have the opportunity.
Yes, but
he didn't have the opportunity. No, he didn't use. No, you have it wrong. He said opportunity.
Why is she wrong?
Opportunity.
So why couldn't
he use his platforms when he was campaigning? Why couldn't he use parliamentary level? Why couldn't he use his TikTok account? Why couldn't he use his Facebook account? He had all the opportunities. Today you are saying that you never had opportunity. He said he conveniently said
he should have used your TikTok.
He could have used all those ones.
You didn't have TikTok then.
Yes, that one you didn't have opportunity. He had WhatsApp. You could have used all that. You could have even written to another MP to say this on my behalf. So you had all the opportunities. So don't use the word opportunity for him to mean platform. Indeed, even if it is a platform, he had all the platforms.
That's my understanding of what.
Yes, he had all the platform. The platform, all that I've mentioned are platform, not GH1 platform. All the platform he had except the GH1 platform. He had it. He couldn't have. If it was bad then, it is bad today. If it was good then, it is good today. And tomorrow, my prayer to you is that you keep saying as if tomorrow you will repeat what is happening. If you are complaining today that it is bad, why pray that you will do the same thing?
But I said you are setting a precedent.
Yes, why pray that the precedent which is bad,
precedent.
The precedent which has been set is bad? Why do you want to repeat the same thing?
Why do you create bad precedent?
No, it has been created. That has been fair accompli. That has been done. So why do you want to say that this precedent is bad? So let's also do it. It doesn't happen that way. So for crying out loud, you see, let the country move on now. Senior, when the next Chief Justice is nominated, and it will happen in the life of the parliament in which you are, advise your people, go for the vetting. Don't walk away. It shows respect to democracy. It shows respect to the Chief Justice. You walk away from this Chief Justice's vetting. Then when Abronia, etc. were arrested, you were calling this Chief Justice do ABC. I mean,
that's not
there are certain... Oh,
please, that's not factual.
Which of them was not factual?
Who was calling Chief Justice left, right, center?
Oh, you didn't watch the news items when they went and he was not granted the bail.
Yes.
You didn't watch what Honorable Akwenyo Makin said.
Said that's what.
That under this Chief Justice ABC is happening.
Yeah, but I said they were calling Chief Justice.
I didn't mean call by phone. No, come on, senior.
The way you express that, like people are now making calls to the Chief Justice.
I didn't use the word making call. You see, you are adding word. I didn't say making call. You took
it in your words.
Oh, no, yes, you took it. You called the Chief Justice to say that Chief Justice ABC, let's do this is happening under the judiciary, not making call. Making call is different. Again, you see, that's what I'm saying. Like God, thank God we are all lawyers here. Apply the ordinary meaning first. Yes, when you call somebody to order, it doesn't mean you make phone call to the person. Ordinary meaning. So let's go back to it. So I want to appeal to you. The next Chief Justice will be nominated under the same parliament whose term you are in. Please, this is my appeal to you. Show respect to your office. Show respect to.
Has that got to do with anything? What we are discussing?
No, yes,
They walk out from the vetting. He used the expression that the one who will benefit, the one who will benefit from, or someone benefited from the removal of.
We have to move on. So please wrap up for me.
Okay. He said that someone benefited from the removal of Tokono. Yes, and as a result of that, they boycotted the vetting of the person. That's all I'm trying to say. So in future, because they still have that pain within them, let them not do it. But again, where Tokono has reached now, the ECOWAS court has confirmed that. I want to use the opportunity to praise the Attorney General and his deputy for a good work done, assuming that she has won. So she's asking the court to give her $10 million out of Ghana's money for the breach of her rights, etc. Really? Where do we get that money from? Let somewhere litigation end somewhere. And this is my advice. Let the litigation end now.
Okay. So just a quick one on, first and foremost, in Parliament, we didn't boycott the vetting of the Chief Justice now. We raised some objections to his attendance. And we had indicated prior to even his coming that we believe that the ongoing court processes should be exhausted before. We had participated in all the justices who were nominated to the Chief Justice, to the Supreme Court. I have personally been part of the vetting processes. And as Dennis and all of those who were brought to Parliament, we participated actively. And I don't think if there is any vacancy at the Supreme Court or Chief Justice and it is brought to Parliament, we renege on our responsibility as people's representative to vet. So your call, though I would take it, but it is not of much consequence because it is something that we've done in Parliament and will continue to do as a responsibility imposed on us by the Constitution.
All right. You're still watching GH Today. Stay with me after the break. There's more. Welcome back to the show. This is GH Today. I'm Serwaa Amihere, and this is the breakfast review. I'm joined in the studio by the Honourable Member of Parliament for the Ifia constituency, Isaac Bwamanyako Esquire, and also Theophilus Jimega Jr. Esquire. He's a civil and mining engineer and a member of the NDC's communications team. Did I get it right this time? Oh, I still left one. Oh, right.
Water resources engineer.
Okay.
I think your middle name is Mischief.
Not at all. Anyway, so a couple of days ago, the Minister for the Interior held a press conference and made certain announcements. He said that there's an immediate revocation of all firearm licenses held by individuals across the country. And for those who have licensed firearms, they have to renew it, undergo mandatory mental health assessments, drug screening, and structured firearms training before any license is reissued. Now, what triggered this? Many have asked 3 instances. First of all, the minister said that 3 suicides have been recorded by affluent gun owners. Second was the Adwa Safo shooting incident as well by some gunmen at her brother's residence. And then the minister himself did say that he owns a gun. At the time he was being given the gun, there was no mental health assessment done on him. They didn't check whether he was on drugs, and they have not been trained, he has not been trained to be sure that he can handle a gun. And we're seeing a lot of people handle guns when they are not supposed to. They fire when they are not supposed to. And the Member of Parliament asked me if I have a gun. I don't have a gun. I don't know if I want to have a gun, but my partner owns a gun. And it scares me, so much. I actually don't even want to see it because I'm always afraid of seeing the gun around. But that's just by the way. But, I think it's a call in the right direction, and I hope that this is a conversation that there will be a consensus on for the first time between the two of you. Honourable Member of Parliament, do you have a gun?
I don't have one.
Are you sure? But you're on camera, you don't have a gun?
I don't have a gun.
Oh, okay. Do you have a gun?
I will never have a gun.
Why?
I don't see the need for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have a gun?
Not at all.
Even as a Member of Parliament?
Yes, I do.
But you have security?
I don't use security.
Why?
Oh, I don't feel the need for now.
You feel very safe in Ghana?
Very, very safe.
Okay.
Yes. And I pray too for security from above. Yes.
What then do you make of the minister's press conference?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I'm wondering again whether the immediate revocation of licenses for gun owners was the right call at such a time like this. Because I believe that before you come to that conclusion, as a sector ministry, you would have had a lot of extensive briefing, engagement, and then look at the lapses that exist over time, and then you give some guidance or guidelines as to how you want to renew or revise the existing modus operandi in terms of gun usage or licensing of gun. The instances that you've enumerated are not anything new in this country. Every now and then we have armed robbery on the increase. You have people using gun inappropriately. And so it is not just the fact that a former member of parliament having gone to a function and people, and even my understanding is that, and per the minister's statement, he said Kantanka Security Services have their security service license has also been revoked because of those incidents. So here's a case where even those people, if they were part and parcel of Kantanka Security Services, have some license to operate as a security service group. And so the call, the intent of what is to be done for me is not problematic, because that should be the way to go. And so 1.5 years or over the years that we've been in existence, what has been the way and manner we've treated licensing of guns? Where do people access them from? Who is entitled to own a gun? How do we streamline and make sure that there are people who can handle gun appropriately? As you said, we've checked their mental faculties to be sure that they are in good frame. We've checked their drug level and status. I'm sure one way or the other, all of these are scattered in what should be done before licenses are granted.
So what if you want to? Are you asking me to tell you?
No,
what was happening in the past?
Yeah, you can add.
In the current, before the minister's press conference on Tuesday, the practice was that the Central Firearms Registry of the Ghana Police Service was giving out the guns or licensing guns for individuals based on, the person being of good character and being mentally sound.
Yes.
But this mental soundness was not based on any clinically tested, work. It was just, me saying that you're of good character. And that's what the minister is seeking to change.
Yes.
And the fact that people were not undergoing or could not prove that they could actually handle a gun, shoot a gun, through training.
Yes.
So that is what existed.
Okay, so
that's what your government superintended over.
Oh, not my government. We have had government come in and out.
Yeah, but immediate government.
Immediate government, yes, and they took it from another government, and so it all has to do with reforms. It all has to do with how best we can strengthen our licensing regime for guns. And I'm saying that this dimension is very welcoming. But the issue of suspension of the licensing across board based on an incident, and I'm saying that these incidents have been recurring over and over and over and over. So it's belated, but it's better late than never. And in this country, you can speak to all of these fine regulations, but when it comes to their implementation, it's still suspect. You still have people circumventing the processes and would get these guns anyway without training and so on. Now, would the minister, maybe over time, be able to brief us, for example, on what kind of training regime or training exercises they are going to come up with, knowing the number of people who have licensed guns in the system? How are they going to recall all of these people to come for training? Because if you revoke licensing today, it means people already have existing license that may expire at different points in time, and until they get to that point, what is the risk? What is the threat of those people who already have their license until their time is due for renewal? And so there should be a more holistic approach from the ministry in dealing with these matters. And I believe that this is the first step. He has mentioned it. We have to operationalize them. We need to make sure that we get it fully implemented so that at the end of the day, there will be much more security and safety. As you asked, why do I feel safe in this country? Because we don't have the practice of having frequent gun incidents in many of the places that we live in. But it is still a threat. If someone owns a gun and the person is not well trained in terms of the use of the gun, it puts everybody at risk. And so even if one person is not trained in that regard, it poses a threat to us as a people and as a country. And so the call is welcome. I believe that a lot more flesh has to be added for us to make a definitive conversation on it. I believe that we should find stricter ways in streamlining these things so that we don't get people always circumventing the processes to put us at all risk. And so I believe the minister, based on this, it's a welcome call.
Anyway, so my take on this is that much as we have laws that are very old on our statute books, this particular law that regulates gun use in Ghana is quite old, 1972, when the guns that were being used were largely the ones that you use to pluck pawpaw if you need to. But now we have very sophisticated situations, sophisticated guns. And if you look at the Act also says that the minister may make regulations so as to give effect to the Act. So some of these things, I believe, are the beginning of the regulations to give effect to the Act. Now, gun control all over the world is quite bizarre. There are instances where you just have to show a driver's license to say you are 21 or 18, no background check, $2 or $3, you get a gun. And the idea about mental health, I think on the spot, they might detect mental health issues. But what of mental health issues that develop over time when you have the gun already? because licenses are renewed annually. So if you go today and you assess to be very stable, and 2 weeks down the line, you have mental health issues, they become an issue that we need to be dealt with. One particular area which I want the minister to move on to, the Act as it is now does not license companies to own guns. And I believe it's one of the reasons why the Kantanka one security license was withdrawn. Because the minister made a statement to the effect that some people register guns personally and hand them over to companies to use. Now, it is along this line that I would advise that instead of, as Senior said, he's very comfortable, instead of encouraging to have private securities that will have guns, etc., and will be able to man people's homes, why don't we increase the number of police intake so that the police will be able to provide private security to private people when it is needed? Maybe it's a discussion that we can have another day. But the idea about influential people, affluent people committing suicide, perhaps there have been a lot of things brewing up until these three became the trigger for the minister to have said that the Adwoa Safo one and the mental health and the assessment that is being done. I think that if the minister is going to make laws to give regulations, to give effect to the law, we should go beyond just the centers that we have currently where you can go for license. Because it's actually very difficult to get the permit to go and buy the gun, and it's also very difficult to get the license after getting the permit, or after getting the gun. So I think they need to, for example, in Accra, I think the only place you can go is the one at the ministries. That is the only place you can go to get your permits and to get your license. I think that we need more of such centers all across the country so that the giving effect to the regulation does not create a backlog where people will begin to feel that it is difficult getting this. Let's go let's go underground and keep our guns. Of course, the law will catch up with you.
Okay, but I have a much bigger concern.
Yeah.
So this mental health evaluation has been placed solely under the Mental Health Authority.
Yeah.
Ghana has fewer than 100 psychiatrists for over 33 million people. Now, the Mental Health Authority has been underfunded for many years. I know this because I've had the privilege of working directly with and for them.
Okay.
How are we going to ensure that the Mental Health Authority, and the minister gave 3 months maximum for all licensed, gun holders to renew their license, meaning you have to go through this mental health check. How are we going to ensure that for an institution that has less than 100 psychiatrists will be able to attend to all of these people before that 3 months deadline is up? And just like he said, without having people to cut the corners and get that evaluation to present to get a renewal of their license. Yes.
I mean, in the midst of confusion, it's always an opportunity. Don't you think this is an opportunity for the Mental Health Authority to scale up and generate
Have they not wanted to scale up?
I mean, it's an opportunity now. It has presented, yes. It has presented itself.
How about government making sure that they are accurately and properly funded?
I mean, if there was the means to have been accurately and properly funded, we would not have been having this conversation. Because you are not talking about yesterday's issue or today's issue. You are talking about chronic issue that has been there for a while. And having worked there yourself, you would have seen some of those things. So for me, this is an opportunity. So you're going to get your license. You need to go and do mental health assessment. Mental health assessment is going to cost you 1,000 cedis or 200 or 300. And out of that, 80% goes to mental health authority. And the mental health authority is going to scale up its production, recruit more nurses. In any case, you don't necessarily need just the psychiatrist per se to do the assessment. The nurses can also do, the mental health nurses can also do the assessment. Yes, and so I appreciate the fact that you work with them, but the hat I wear is that I did mental health nursing in London Sandbank University, and I've worked in mental health institutions as well. So,
have you worked at the psychiatric hospital in Ghana?
No.
Have you worked with the Mental Health Authority in Ghana?
No, that's why.
You're talking about.
No. You look at best. You look at not comparing. I'm not comparing. I didn't use compare.
I know you are not. But
No,
you're
I'm not comparing.
That the nurses can do the assessment.
Yes, the nurses training. You can't tell me the training they are having is substandard. You can't say that.
I haven't said that.
Yes. So then let's not go to the next one.
Have
so
you even been to have you been to any of the psychiatric hospitals in Ghana? Which one?
I've been to Pantai.
Okay.
Yes. So let's look at it. It's an opportunity for us perhaps to train more nurses as well in mental health, and when the opportunity comes. And again, let's correct this. You said there are about 100 psychiatrists and there are 33 million Ghanaians. Indeed, not all Ghanaians who own gun. So that comparison of the number is a bit stretched. Yes, that
wasn't the point that I was making.
Let's get the point. Yes, let's get the point you are making.
Yes. Please make your point.
Yes, so,
it's fine.
So it's an opportunity for us to scale up, be it government subvention, be it internally generated funding, etc., for the Mental Health Authority to also scale up. But you see, as I explained earlier, maybe there will be a situation where the act might be amended or repealed or whatever might happen. I don't know. But the law allows the minister to make regulations to give effect. So sometimes maybe let's wait a little bit. Let's allow the minister, as Senior has said, this is the first step. Let's allow the minister to come up with a regulation that he wants to give effect to the act. Then perhaps we will take the discussion properly and chew it well over there.
You see, but the biggest concern has to do with the unregistered and unlicensed gun owners. Because data suggests that currently we've registered just about 60,000 to 100,000 guns in Ghana, whilst the unregistered guns stand in excess of 1.4 million. So look at the gap. So officially we've registered about 100,000, but people who actually own guns in this country, unregistered, is in excess of 1.4 million. So how are we tracking this from the Ghana Small Arms Commission? So every now and then, you know the conflicts that we always experience in the north, Boku area, whether it is the Mamprugu area, Mamprusi area, and so on and so forth. People have access to guns. The ministry has information as to where these guns sit. At times, they even come up with some packages to see if people can hand over their guns, particularly at conflict-prone areas, and then get some kind of compensation. And so the conversation shouldn't be just about outlining what ought to be done, but how well are we going after unregistered and unlicensed guns, which are far in excess of what people formally come over and get it registered. Because the ones that are supposed to be revoked are those that you already have information on, and they don't come to even 10% of what is actually in existence. So there should be a broader conversation from the Interior Ministry as to how they are combating these excessive number of guns that are unregistered in the system, so that we can either regularize them. He talked about 200,000 guns to be destroyed, or 2,000 firearms to be destroyed based on what have been seized, or people who voluntarily brought them in. And this is still a small fraction of what is actually in the system. And so I will call on the Minister for Interior to go beyond what is being said now. The rhetoric is good. The indication is fine. But the biggest conversation has to do with the excess of 1.2, 1.4 million unregistered guns in the system. How are they tracking them and bringing them onto the registration bit?
You see, Serwaa said you feel this time we'll come to a common point. So I'm a bit constrained.
Please go ahead and make your point.
Oh, no, I will always go ahead. But, I mean, with all respect to you as well. You see, in November 2024, we were told that some guns shipment arrived in Ghana. They were seized at Tema Port. Whatever happened to those, we never knew. In June 2020, there were another cache of arms that came in. Whatever happened. I think that going forward, if such arms are found being shipped into Ghana, we should, publicly know what happens after the arrests and after the authorities at the ports find those arms. I am a bit worried. I said it somewhere yesterday that we destroy a lot of these guns, yet maybe we'll go and take money and buy guns for our security services. Are there some of the guns that our security services can confidently or conveniently use? Do we have gun repair center? Indeed, an area in Ghana where guns are used to be manufactured very well is Alavanyo in my area. And for a long time now, that industry, if it has not collapsed, is collapsing. Is it a situation that some of these guns that find their ways in will get people to reconfigure them for the police to use, the military to use, etc.? Again, in the midst of troubles, there's an opportunity. So let's be looking at moving forward with some of these seized guns. The minister has announced soon they'll be banning them. But I think that some of them can be put to good use.
Okay. Let's quickly touch on the final topic before we wrap up, because we have to go in a couple of minutes. So there have been 3 distinct tariff decisions in 2026, right?
3?
Yes.
Distinct?
Tariff decisions in 2026, inclusive of what's going to happen 1st July.
Okay.
So there was the January 1, 2026. I see that you're writing it down.
Yeah.
Then April 1, 2026.
Yeah.
Then July 1, 2026. Yeah. So the PURC has announced an upward adjustment in electricity and water tariffs, with the new rates taking effect from July 1, 2026. Now, electricity tariffs will increase by 3.49% across all customer categories. Water tariffs will increase by 0.85% as well. So this is what we are expected to see come July 1, 2026. And I hope that we have braced ourselves for that. Well, I mean, in April, we saw a reduction. And now we're going to see an increase. That's not too bad.
Serwaa, this is an Adamko Dada.
What does that mean?
It's just a mechanism to play on the emotions of Ghanaians. That PURC sits, and then when there's a need for it to go down, they will be able to adjust this down. And then cumulatively, since 2025, electricity tariffs have gone up close to 30%. Fact. Cumulatively. Why are we seeing this upward adjustment in electricity and water over the period? When you talk about exchange rates being stable, when you are talking about inflation being down, look at the component from the PURC. What was the basis of the increment? They laid it at the doorstep of exchange rate. They laid it at the doorstep of inflation. And you are telling us that inflation is 3.84%. And we are increasing tariff because of that. You tell us that exchange rate has stabilized at 11.08. It goes to 12. It comes out the next moment to 11. And you are increasing tariff because of that. You look at the service delivery and it is poor. Go to the Western region and the Takoradi area. Even as we watch football, people are in darkness. Go to parts of Accra, Ufanko area, people are in darkness. Go to Ashanti region, people are in darkness. So what are we paying for? You pay for the service, you don't get the service rendered and delivered. And you come back and you tell us that you are increasing electricity tariffs again. That is bad. This is bad for us as a country. And it is something that government should be very worried and concerned about. Because in the midst of all the macroeconomic indices, Ghanaians are not feeling it. They actually been hit hard in their pockets. Go and check the even phone calls and the rest. You make a call, they deduct it, the service quality is poor. And we watch on all of these day and night, and we don't want to change the situation. And I said last week, PURC visited, came to Parliament. I sat on the Energy Committee. And they were not even forthright to tell us. They said there will be an adjustment. We asked, is it going up or it is going down? They said there will be an adjustment. So why did you come to us to tell us that you are going to adjust? Tell us if it is going up or it is going down, so that we'll be able to tell our citizenry what they should expect. And then you come back and ambush Ghanaians that come July 1st, we are going to see an upward increase in electricity tariffs. We talk about efficiency in ECG. Every now and then they say cash waterfall has gone up. Yes. So if all these things are going on well, why are you increasing electricity tariffs? Why are you increasing water tariffs? It is not good. So while people are complaining, people are crying. You go, people buy 100 cedis. When they said the electricity was running faster than was intended, when people were complaining and the ministry said they were going to check and see what is wrong, what has PURC told us about it? Have ECG or any of the power agencies been surcharged with all the losses that Ghanaians had faced when they buy credit and it runs without cost? It doesn't look good for the energy sector. Yet we have paid 1 Ghana cedi per litre since 2025. It's raised in excess of 8 billion into the economy as at the end of 2025. And you still can't get a feeling within the energy sector that all is well. I believe that government has to set up. The rhetoric and the propaganda, if I may put it advisedly, in terms of this macroeconomic indicators is becoming one too many. People who need jobs, they can't get their jobs. And we talk about macroeconomic stability. And we use the same stability to increase electricity tariffs. Who does that in this country? And so I'm very disappointed in government. I'm very disappointed in PURC for these upward adjustments. And it is a call, and I'll call on them to withdraw this particular increment immediately. There should be an immediate withdrawal of that increment so that Ghanaians can wallow in the existing tariffs that are there, and then they can find some cushion going forward.
So it's so sad sometimes when you listen to these guys.
Oh, Kawasa Meja is so sad. Who said I'm happy with what you say?
Because when the tariffs go down, they complain. When it goes up, they complain. We were in this country. I'll quote 2 figures. Second quarter 2024, electricity went out 5.84. First quarter 2023 went out 29.96%. Mm-hmm. And today,
so we shouldn't talk if it goes up.
But they say that's why they were voted out.
Yes. And we inherited why they were voted out. I was coming to that. Thank God he brought in the 1 Ghana cedi. I mean, that was put there for us to pay for the ESLA debt that they have collateralized. Okay, so if you created a mess and we are finding ways of going around to solve the mess so that things will be good for us, you don't have to start to shout or jump on the rooftop to say that stop what you're doing because it's affecting all of us. You created a mess.
Which mess?
And that is what we are trying to solve. Over the years, do you think that what we are seeing today, Senior, when you were talking, I was quiet. I was enjoying yours, enjoying mine. I'll be it if it's paracetamol. Yes. When you think that what PURC is doing today is as a result of just 1.5 years of problem, no. They have been there. And as I said, ESLA debt, when was the last time you heard any of the private power producers saying that they've not been paid? We've been able to solve all those things. When was the last time? They have paid a lot of their debts over there. And these debts were created by your government. So please, allow us, much as this is painful, someone has to pay for it. You see, we can either decide that we will not pay for these things, wait until they accumulate, become a burden on us. Under COVID, you told us you were giving us electricity free, you were giving us water free. Way after COVID, you started taking double, triple what we would have paid. You've done all that in this country, and today you are talking about this. Please, you see, PURC cannot tell you, as at the time they met you, that the adjustment will be up or down because they are doing forecasts. They are looking at all the scenarios around them before they are coming to this. I will only say that when the situations are good, PURC will bring down tariffs. With the situations aside that we all need to contribute a little to cater for the kitty, the electricity, and the water, we all have to do it. Unfortunately, to quote the words of President Kufuor, we have to bite the bullet sometimes to be able to achieve good, stable situation. The problem I have is that our water resources appear to be stagnant. We are not exploring new water avenues over the years.
You're damaging it by Galamsey.
I'm coming to all that. over the years, yet population is growing. Galamsey is also chopping a chunk of it. That is why we now have to commend the government that the effort they are doing through NIMOS to try and clean some of the water bodies.
Since NIMOS, what has happened?
Oh, senior.
Please allow him to.
Yes, so I think you supported him too much.
That's not true. Please allow him to.
Yes. So NIMOS and the Blue Water Guards, etc., they are helping to make sure that our water situation is improving. So
the Blue Water Guards?
Yes.
What have they done so far?
No, the question you will ask me, if I had continued along Blue Water Gas, you would have asked me to what extent is it to the discussion of the tariffs. The Blue Water Gas are the ones that are pinpointing certain areas for the NIMOS team, etc., to move in and flush out some of the Galamseys.
So where are we now in our fight against Galamsey?
It is improving. And yes. Oh, you are not aware?
Worse.
It is not worse.
Check.
It's not worse.
Where
it's
have you been traveling to?
I travel to the same places you travel to.
You're part of the, we don't do Galamsey. Come to my western region.
Yes.
Now it is in the street.
No, if Galamsey is happening,
the waters have completely been damaged.
That cannot be the
let's
truth.
speak fact.
That cannot be the truth. Look, Councillor, if Galamsey is being done in the street and it's in your constituency.
No, my question is the western region.
It also behoves on you as a member of parliament and a good citizen to be able to take steps. There are certain communities you can't go there to do Galamsey.
The responsibility is on the state.
No, the responsibility is equally on the citizenry.
To
that
do
is
what?
Why you say, look, you are saying that Galamsey is not done somewhere. Go from Kodjo towards Jessica and see. The communities have made notices that you come here to do even prospecting, you do it at your own risk. We will not allow you. And there are certain communities even in Ashanti and West that you can never do Galamsey because the people say, no, we don't want it. So you, as a member of parliament, it's also your responsibility to say that as a good citizen, this cannot be done here. But I know that NIMOS is on top of the fight. They are working the livelihood, alternative livelihood situation that they are also rolling out. It's also helping. But back to the water issue. So we need to have a discussion in this country now about what water resources we have. What is our security of supply? And we should be able to understand that population is growing and we need to invest into developing new areas for water resources instead of just relying on the streams, the lakes, etc. There are alternatives. Everybody is drilling borehole almost in their house. The government can equally drill, and there are plans to do all those things. So back to PURC, I want to assure you that if situations improve, of course, there have been slight difference in macroeconomics. The inflation has also hit us. Some of the things are not locally bought. If they are locally bought, we would have had the improvement.
So inflation is going up now, you know?
Oh, no. We are all aware that the dollar and the cedi, there has been a slight depreciation against the dollar. Yes, and we know the reasons. So some of these things will improve with time. So I want to appeal to Ghanaians that if situations improve, as PLC done in the last quarter, they will reduce tariffs. If the situations are such that we all need to contribute a little, I mean, look at what is the percentage increase?
So for water,
almost 4%.
Electricity is 3.49, and water is 0.85.
So 0.85. So it means if you are paying 10 cedis for water, now they will be adding how much to it?
85 pesos.
85 pesos.
Yes, it's more.
Realistically, let's look at the increment percent. You see,
and then
so it is just that. I would have been expecting that you would have faced the bullet to say what we have now, the 0.85 is justifiable. I think so.
What about the electricity?
Okay, and again, the electricity, you know that we have the gas mix, we have the thermal, etc. Some of those things are not done in Ghana. You don't get gas in Ghana; they are imported, and we know the global situation. Things are getting better by now in the global gas supply.
You know, my question to you is that the 1 cedi, 1 cedi per litre on fuel was introduced to help address energy sector debts.
Yeah.
Tariffs are being increased to make utility providers financially viable. Ghanaians are paying the 1 cedi at the fuel pumps, and we are still having to pay increased utility bills. Are we paying double to fix the same problem?
We are not paying double.
Are we not?
No. You see, there had been debt. The 1 cedi is supposed to cater for debt. The one we are talking about in terms of tariff is to cater for today's production. So there's debt that has been left behind that we are trying to clear. And that is what the 1 cedi is for. So we are not paying for double. We are paying for something which we should have done, which somebody should have done previously, and make sure that there's no energy debt, which they didn't do. That is what we are paying. So it's not a double payment. One is for debt, one is for current consumption.
Okay, you want to have a final bite so we can wrap up?
Yeah, so for me, I believe that some of these increases are needless. We should rather focus on quality supply and quality service delivery. We should look at reducing consumption losses and technical losses along this value chain, because this is where Ghanaians are being pushed to pay for the inefficiencies of these service providers. And it is high time PURC bites the bullet, as he said, and be frontal with the utility service providers, that Ghanaians have had enough. If you check our per unit cost of electricity in West Africa, it is high. And we are almost always increasing by the day. It doesn't look good, particularly when we have gas supply, most of our gas being taken by Ghana Gas here. And we've improved on our energy mix through gas. So now we don't buy a lot of liquefied petroleum. We don't use liquid to power our energy sector. If you go to Bue and the rest, we are expanding our solar energy mix. So the optics looks good for us not to be imposing more burden on Ghanaians as if we are buying crude from international markets. Even Nigeria, West African gas that we negotiate. Now the gas prices are low. If you check what we are buying from the Jubilee fields, the cost of gas is low. WACOG is low. And so why these increases? It's not justifiable. And these are areas that we interrogate from Parliament, from the Energy Committee. As I said, they come in, you have your say, they will have their way. Because they've made it their point that this is what we need to do to balance the books of ECG, balance the books of the power service providers. And so let's go that way, because Ghanaians understand us anyway. We're still in our movement. But I think the ordinary Ghanaian is having enough. And this is not good for us to continue to use the quarterly adjustment to increase tariffs. And as I said, cumulative impact from 2025 to 2026, now approaching 30%, is not good.
Now you have the platform. We are in Parliament. You are on the Energy Committee.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Yes. Thank you. Theophilus Jimega Jr. Esquire is a mining, civil and water engineer.
Yes, he said it all for him.
He's also a member of the NDC's communications team. And Isaac Bamanyako Esquire is the Honourable Member of Parliament for the Ifia constituency. Thank you so much for your time. Stay with us. After the break, there's more. I am Serwaa Amihere.
Is that time. MTN has flipped their script, and you can literally set up your